Take a breath. Just a normal one. You probably didn't think about it. Your lungs did all the work automatically, sending oxygen through your body, fueling every thought, every heartbeat, every movement. Now, imagine something strange begins happening. Breathing suddenly feels heavier. Not dangerous, not toxic, just different. The sky looks the same, the wind still brushes your face. Clouds drift lazily above. Everything seems normal, and yet something invisible has shifted. Athletes notice their lungs burning faster during training. Pilots notice subtle atmospheric changes. Birds shorten their flights. Dogs tire on walks faster than usual. Even insects hover lower, as if conserving energy. And then the first unsettling thought spreads across the world. What if oxygen, the very thing that sustains life, was slowly becoming scarce? Not disappearing entirely, just enough that every breath costs more than it used to. Now imagine a world where every inhale is a choice, where homes start storing oxygen like gold, where access to fresh air could separate people into haves and have-nots, where children might learn to ration their breaths before learning to run or play. And suddenly, the invisible divides the planet. Because when something as essential as air becomes limited, curiosity isn't just scientific, it's survival.
At first, the changes are subtle. People wake up, step outside, and feel something slightly off. A morning jog leaves legs heavier. Climbing stairs feels different. No visible pollution, no storms, yet the atmosphere itself seems to resist, to weigh on every movement. Birdsong grows quieter. Forests feel too still. Even rivers reflect light differently, and humans muis. The first whispers start spreading. Conversations about the air feeling weird pass between neighbors. Some shrug it off. Others pause mid-step, wondering if there's a deeper change. Animals notice first. Birds shorten their migrations. Dogs slow down on walks. Even fish begin surfacing differently. And suddenly the question spreads across the planet. What happens if breathable air isn't unlimited? If every inhale has a cost, who can afford to breathe freely? Because when scarcity touches something as essential as air, the invisible lines between the privileged and the rest become obvious.
The moment humans realize air is no longer limitless, life changes fast. Homes quietly transform into small fortresses of breathable air. Tanks hum softly in every corner. Air filtration systems become prized possessions. Some families can afford massive storage systems. Others share a single small tank between rooms. A simple walk outside requires calculation. Outdoor workers schedule breathing breaks. Even children are taught how to conserve every inhale. Animals adapt too. Birds fly shorter distances. Dogs walk slower. Wildlife cautiously explores forests that feel eerily quiet. The strangest shift is psychological. Humans begin thinking about air constantly, every breath measured, every exhale valued. The very thing that was once invisible, essential, effortless, becomes a precious resource. And with this change, one question begins to dominate every conversation. Who gets to breathe freely? Because suddenly, the world is divided, not by borders, not by money alone, but by something far more fundamental: oxygen itself.
At first, it's subtle. The forests don't scream, they pause. It's as if the world itself is holding its breath. Birds hover in the air longer than usual, wings trembling. Even insects fly lower, buzzing slower, almost cautiously. Sunlight feels sharper, cutting through the mist like it's measuring the atmosphere. Shadows stretch longer, bend strangely. And then comes the strangest part. Plaps, the very lungs of the earth, begin reacting. Leaves curl, growth slows, flowers bloom less vividly. The oxygen that humans now depend on isn't produced in the same way. Rivers and oceans show odd movements. Fish swim closer to the surface, almost gasping for air themselves. Even the wind seems to weigh heavier as it passes through cities and forests alike. Life on the planet itself is adjusting to scarcity, and humans can feel it. Every inhale outside now carries awareness. Every exhale feels like a precious resource being spent. The quiet becomes deafening. A single sigh can echo in a city street. A bird's flap of wings feels monumental. And slowly, the terrifying question spreads in everyone's mind. If nature itself is changing to conserve air, what else is shifting that we don't even notice?
Humans begin organizing their lives around breathing. Schools teach children how to make every inhale count, while families cluster around their tanks, listening to the soft hum of filtered air that has suddenly become precious. Workplaces buzz with filtration systems, and public spaces feel controlled, almost sterile, making stepping outside feel uncertain. Access to breathable zones quickly divides society. Some neighborhoods glow with towers pumping fresh air, while others rely on small tanks, carefully rationing every breath. The rich move freely, inhaling without thought, while others pause, calculating each inhale like currency. Even laughter feels measured, a reminder that something once invisible now carries value. And yet, life continues, but with a new rhythm. Every movement is deliberate, every pause intentional, and one question lingers in everyone's mind. If air, something invisible and essential, can become a privilege, what else might quietly shift across the planet before we even notice? Eventually, humans stop taking air for granted. Every inhale becomes valuable, every exhale intentional. Even when the sun rises, rivers flow, clouds drift, humans see the world differently. Breathing itself becomes a measure of survival and privilege. The rich may walk freely outdoors. Others measure every breath. Societies divide along the invisible line of who can access air. And as the planet adjusts, life continues. But humans live with constant awareness. Invisible forces, once taken for granted, now dictate who thrives and who struggles. It's not just survival, it's perspective. A single breath reminds us how fragile everything is and how easily the balance can tip. If you think our planet might one day need a reset, or you're curious what happens when only the rich breathe, subscribe to What Happens When, because the next What Happens When could make you question everything you take for granted, even something as ordinary as the air you inhale.